I feel like it's my calling.
I had heart surgery when I was 15. And instead of scaring me away from the hospital, it brought me to it.
It's probably the best job you'll ever have, but your heart has to be in it.
I wanted the experience to be able to give back to my community.
I wanted something that was going to be more rewarding.
I guess I go home with every day is that I've helped somebody.
American Indians in North Dakota and the surrounding states continue to experience major health disparities. In fact, this region has the shortest average lifespan of American Indians in the U.S. And while research-based causes have not been established, many believe this gross disparity is due to inadequate health care. Across the United States, there is a large need for skilled American Indian nurses, and that is most evident in North Dakota. Compounding this issue are the significant healthcare needs of tribal populations throughout the state, and the preference of American Indian patients is to be cared for by those who share similar culture and values.
I chose nursing because I love helping people. I just really have a passion for helping people, and I've always been interested in the medical field, so when I put those two together, nursing was kind of the obvious choice.
I chose nursing after having to care for my grandma. She had lung cancer. Being in the nursing home, I want to be that person that you can trust your grandma to or your mom.
When I was younger, my grandpa was sick for quite some time. I'd stay in the hospital with him all the time, and I found myself helping him to go to the bathroom and doing a lot of the cares to help him out. And so I got a job in the nursing home as a CNA, and I really found what I liked. But my grandpa led me on that path, and I thank him for that to this day.
My mother had passed away, and it just kind of, I looked at my children and I wanted to be like a role model to them and to try to continue on with, to go back to school and continue on and show them education is really important.
My grandmother was dying from cancer, and seeing how all the nurses were acting caring and compassionate is what made me want to go into nursing.
I chose nursing because I really like the diversity and the different routes you can take with nursing. I mean, you weren't stuck in just one field. You can go in many different directions. And I also like the one-on-one care you can provide for the patients.
There's not just, a nurse in a hospital or a nurse in a clinic. There's so many different options out there. I really wasn't sure which area of nursing I was interested in at the beginning, but as you go through the different classes and the different clinicals, towards the end of it, you kind of realize which section or which part that you're more interested in.
I wanted the experience to be able to give back to my community, go out and help people, educate people. One of the big things for me is the education. I like explaining what I know, explaining what I've learned, how to take better care of yourself.
I mean, there's doctor's offices where you've got the Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. There's nursing homes where you get to build a relationship with the older population and see them through the end of life. There's pediatrics, neonates, OB. There's just everywhere. There's so many different kinds. There's different cultures to where you're exposed to all sorts of different types of people, and it's just, the possibilities are endless on what you can do and where you can be.
Now, if she were to have asthma, what kind of lung sounds would you hear?
Wheezing.
Yes, it's very common in asthma.
When I graduated, there wasn't a lot of resources to say this is how you need to do it, and my family really didn't have a college background. So I was scared, and I thought, well, I'm just going to take my general requirements for now at our local community college. And I did that, and I ran into a recruitment lady there, and she said, okay, why don't you come to the university and we'll help you do what you need to do. And I said, okay. So I came, and they got me on the ball.
I came 3 days before classes started, and it was one of the worst mistakes I could have ever made. Nobody told me that you're supposed to read your syllabus, you're supposed to have this done because you're going to have a test the next day, literally. So that was a big challenge.
Where I lived and where Sitting Bull College is, it was like a 45-minute drive. And there's limited daycare on Standing Rock, and so finding daycare, finding ways to get to class, that was my biggest struggle my first semester.
Sometimes I wish that I would have went to school before I had kids, because I have to put them ahead put them, make sure they're taken care of before I can start my studies. So it's usually about like 8 o'clock in the evening on when I can start doing my homework.
I'm the mother of 3 young kids, so trying to work around their schedule and then have my own schedule now, it's been a challenge in itself.
Missing birthday parties back home, not being able to come home for an anniversary or a grandparent's birthday, or that was kind of some stuff that weighed heavy on me.
Time management is really hard. I'm the single parent to a 3-year-old, so finding daycare and someone to watch him when I've got clinical and I have to be in Wahpeton at 6:45 and coming from Fargo, those are the biggest challenges that I've faced in the time management with, do I do my homework or do I play with my child?
All them times where I didn't get to play with my kids or, be there for their activities, I just kept telling myself this is for them.
I lost my husband my junior year in college. He was killed in a motorcycle accident. And my 3rd son was born 13 days after he died.
People that I've known that have went through the program kind of encouraged me to move in this direction because of kind of like the person that I am. I'm really compassionate and caring and giving, kind of motherly type. So just friends and family were all pretty supportive of my decision because I felt like, I would make a good nurse.
My family continues to be my ultimate support system. There's times when I can't attend family functions because there are school priorities, but they understand. And it's hard to have to miss those times when I know everyone's together at grandma's and I'm not there, I'm here in Bismarck, but I know that ultimately I'm doing something that is going to be good for all of us.
Our class, we're all pretty close, and whenever something goes wrong, like right now my car's actually broke down, but my classmates have all helped me out by giving me rides.
Whenever I'm having troubles and just want to quit, I call up my mom and she's like, you're almost done, you're almost done. And then my classmates, we talk about everything.
One of my biggest support people was my mother. She's one of the ones that gave me my values, the stories that I would learn from her about my family and about who I really was as a Native American and as a woman.
My mom and dad were big, pushers behind me and my education and encouraging me, and I have kids. So being able to give them a better life as well is also huge for me.
I guess I talked with family a lot, and they were pretty supportive, and I just wanted to be able to give my kids a better future. And I knew that coming back to school as a nurse, working as a CNA was fine, but I know with 4 children, you needed a little more.
I think it was my kids that give me encouragement because I want a better life for them, and especially I take a lot of pride in my culture, and I'm proud to be an Anishinaabe Ikwe, and that means an Indian woman, an Ojibwe. And I don't know, I believe in leaving a legacy, and I want my kids to never think that they're not smart enough because I went through that phase, and I feel like I could take on the world because I got this far and there's no looking back.
Having people that were in semesters ahead of me kind of pre-warning me, hey, when you get to this clinical, make sure you're there 15 minutes early and make sure you write down your patient status about this, this, and this. It'll help you and you'll be great. So having those kind of role models to look forward to and look up to definitely helped me succeed.
I was the one shaking in the corner all the time in the skills lab, and I felt like I was always making mistakes type of thing, but the teachers here are so encouraging. So that's been the biggest hump, is just to become more confident in what I've learned and that I can use what I've learned in my career.
I think I had a lot of role models everywhere I worked, whether it was in the private sector and IHS. There was people that I knew I could look to, and they really, really held nursing to a high standard, and I really liked working with them.
I know I've heard some classes have been cliquish. We're not. We all get along. We all support each other. We're all there for each other. We all, if we have problems, we all have each other's phone numbers. We're constantly calling each other for making sure we have our assignments or if anything's due.
Not be afraid to ask people for help. So, which was my problem in the start. I don't really like asking people for help. So, I'm starting to get to where I can say, you know, I can't do this all on my own.
I've already started talking to people, and you can do this. Like, it's so easy. Just you can do this. You can go to school. Like, there's so much help, especially for Native Americans. Like, we just are really pushing education, and hopefully I can help someone succeed. That'd be nice.
Like the underclassmen, I try to give them ideas, just like little tricks that helped me get through some of the classes. I'm always telling them that I'm here. A couple of the girls come in asking about pharmacology and asking what was like the best way to study. So I mean, I just try to help out.
Even when I was going to nursing school, I would come back for visits. There was even some girls coming up to me. I'd never seen them before, and obviously I knew they were older than me, but they were like saying, you know, oh, I'm really glad that you're doing what you do, and I look up to you and stuff, and I'm like, really? You know, I'm younger than you. It was a little weird, but it felt good hearing that from some people.
I would love to go back to my community and say, hey, you guys, go to college. It's not that bad. It's great. It's a good feeling. Some hard work, some discipline. You can do whatever you want to do.
I would like to be a nurse practitioner. I'm not sure in which area. Labor and delivery always kind of piqued my interest, but we'll see once I get out and start practicing more which avenue I want to take. And that's the beauty of it, is you get to choose where you want to go.
Master's in public health, or because that's what I love right now, or eventually go into becoming a nurse practitioner.
I want to get my master's, if not going to be an FNP.
Really hope to one day get into an NP program.
I want to get my doctorate. That's my goal.
You want to go on and think, wow, if I came this far, just think what else I can do. That's how I feel. So I know definitely a master's. I'll get my master's, see how I feel then, and who knows, maybe there's a doctorate in the future for me.
Let the oxygen into the system.
Nursing's leaders recognize a strong connection between a culturally diverse nursing workforce and the ability to provide quality, culturally competent patient care. But health personnel shortages can negatively impact healthcare quality through reduced healthcare access, increased stress on providers, and the use of underqualified personnel.
We would get the everyday diabetic patients, the hypochondriacs, the med refills, or we'd get a car accident. We had to be that versatile.
My very first job was here, and I was in the clinic and the ER. I remember being scared. You know, I really learned a lot.
It was kind of unusual for some of my coworkers because I was the only minority, I think, in the whole hospital at the time, as a nurse anyway. And I knew the stereotypes going in. You know, Native Americans are lazy, Native Americans don't like to work, you know, that type of thing. So I worked twice as hard, I picked up twice as many shifts, you know, I was there on time, even early.
For the first few months, I was kind of hard on myself, like, okay, well, this nurse knows this and this and this, and why don't I know that yet? So I think getting to that aspect of feeling comfortable to where I am with what I know now, and then always trying to achieve more. Working in the NICU, when you expect a healthy pregnancy, there are some times where you're going to have the losses. And so dealing with that as an emotional hardship, it's hard for you to be strong and be supportive for that family. But at the end, when they come back a year later and they have that Memorial Day for their baby, or what would have been that baby's birthday, they appreciate everything that you've done, even the smallest things, from taking pictures of their infants, holding their hands when they're getting the news and things like that. It's been an emotional roller coaster for me and for the families that I've been involved with, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Some of the main things is to keep in mind that a lot of the vital signs are going to be different.
Next Steps is a 5-year grant that provides opportunities for American Indians in North Dakota to access an educational pathway leading to careers in health professions. Its goal is to create a career ladder, allowing entry and promoting advancement within the healthcare workforce through a variety of educational options. The Next Steps project provides services to students in North Dakota. These services include mentoring and financial assistance.
Oh, it helps me a lot. Tuition, gas to get to school, then the mentoring, the study sessions, help with getting homework done, and like just the push to get through.
I was paying my own childcare. They helped me with childcare. They helped with like the gas vouchers for going to school. When we're up at clinicals, they help with the meals. And biggest thing is the childcare, like paying that out of my own pocket and making sure that I had someone for my son was the biggest of all. Yeah, and I think if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I'd continue on after my LPN, because that's the whole thing I'm worried about is funding. Like, it's a lot harder when you have to pay out of your pocket and stuff and work full-time and go to school full-time. Like right now I'm only working part-time, but it's just because I got the funding from Next Steps. It helps me not have to worry about that part.
Just my funding and my support. If I didn't have that, I probably would drop the program.
Their help with paying my tuition and my books, because like I said, I have 4 girls and they're not cheap at all.
Some of these people don't have a whole lot of resources, you know, and so we help them as best we can.
The biggest thing that our students are utilizing right now would be the daycare. I can think of one student specifically. If we weren't there, her bill would be like at least $1,300 a month.
I have my mentors through the Next Steps program. Once I knew I had them on my side, or you know, they're just there for me, I felt really supported and just really happy. A lot of the anxiety of everything went away.
Just having an open door, you know, with really any needs, or just to talk, you know, and then the tutoring really helps to have that to go to, you know, that set time to, you know, instead of being at home and being like, oh, I'm gonna study, or, you know, having that set time for some place to go and other people to be there to kind of go back and forth really helps.
Best thing I like about it is the physical mentor and the guidance that they provide. It helps me a lot, and it's like a motivation. I feel like if I didn't have that, I don't know how far I'd be into my BSN right now.
We have all gone through similar things that these students are going through. I was an older than average student that returned to school. I didn't do so well the first time around. Ended up dropping out of school a couple times and stuff. So I have experiences to draw upon, just like all the rest of the mentors do.
A lot of my students, this is and they'll say it themselves, this is their last chance, and they need support. You know, they need help with childcare. They need help with, you know, the financial aspect of it.
I always let them know I'm not pushing for me. I'm not the one that's going to get the reward. They're going to be the one that's going to get the reward at the end.
I know when I see the people who are committed so much to becoming nurses and the things that they do with people, I couldn't do it. I could not be a nurse. I just think they're wonderful people, and you really have to know what you're going to, you know, that you want to do that.
I love advising. I just show me your transcript and I'll tell you what we're going to do. I always tell students, once I get my hands on you, I don't let you go.
We work with students from the pre-nursing through the graduate level of nursing program here at UND. However, we do have, our program does support students even before they come to UND. Deb and I do a lot of traveling, and we recruit at reservations in North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Nebraska, Wyoming, and Wisconsin, Minnesota. So we try to visit all of the reservations in those areas at least once per year.
I think the biggest thing is that what the students get from is that we believe in them, even down during their toughest times when they don't believe in themselves. Is that we're still here, we're going to be here, we are going to do whatever needs to be done to help them get through.
I always say one of the most important things I think we could tell our students is that you can do this, because when we were growing up on the reservation, I said, no one really said to me, you can go to college and you can, you can do this. And I always say too, if you can't see what you want to be, you can't have the dream, you're not going to be successful in that. So we just tell them to, we believe in them, that you can do this.
As soon as I came up here, I was like welcomed in with open arms, and they helped tremendously. Like, they just lay everything out for you and take it step by step, and they simplify everything for you. So it was really helpful.
The RAIN program kind of took me in and said, you know what, this is going to be like your second home. We know that you came from a close-knit community, and it's a little difficult to move from that to a bigger place and kind of keep, you know, yourself motivated and not be homesick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have, like, I want you to come up here and you meet with us. If you need anything, you come to talk to us. You know, if you need to speak with your family, you can use the phones here. So I think just, you know, in the beginning, when I was a little nervous, Rain really kind of took me in and said, you know what, this is gonna be your second home. Feel free to come up here and visit us.
I would be really overwhelmed, and sometimes I would, you know, I would cry and be like, I don't think I'm smart enough. Go back to, you know, not thinking I was smart enough. And then, you know, Deb would just tell me, Lisa, you know, you're not the only one who's ever felt this way. But, you know, they went on to be nurses.
Here, you just got so much encouragement, so much guidance, help if you need it. I mean, it's just anything's possible.
I love Deb and how encouraging and supportive she is. And I kind of like her job, and I want to be out there and say, hey, come out here and do it. I've done it, and it's okay. It's going to be okay.
My goal in nursing school was to come back and serve my people. So that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm doing right now.
So I feel like I owe it back to my community to help and to take, you know, to work and to be a part of it. So I guess it's a part of just paying back what I've received.
Well, I want to go back to my reservation. They have a nursing home that they're opening up, and then that's where I want to go. Our elders need the younger generation.
There are so many opportunities in nursing for American Indians. We need more American Indian nurses to work in various capacities on and off the reservation.
It's a great profession. You'll never be without a job. This is actually my third career. I'm 43 years old, so I figured I'd finish this up now, so before I get too old, so somebody my age can do it.
Don't hold it off or push it off and be like, oh, I'll go next semester or I'll go next year. Get it done right away. Then you can get those years of experience under your belt and maybe even think of going into a master's program.
Volunteer for hospitals, work as a CNA, go into the tribal clinics and work with them.
Don't let somebody tell you that you can't do it. Don't let yourself tell you that you can't do it, because even though you're going to go through those challenges, there's always something more out there for you. There's always somebody's hand who's going to be reaching out there for you. There's another person who's gone through what you've gone through. And even just opening up and talking to those individuals, I feel like you'll be able to succeed beyond even your own expectations.
Don't be scared to make a phone call and say, you know, I want to go to college. How do I do this? Call the college and talk to even anybody in the office and say, how do I do this? Don't be scared. There's resources and there's help everywhere you go. So just use those resources and have some confidence in yourself and say, you know what? I'm going to go to college.
I try to meet with my instructors to let them know that I care about my grades and just to show that I'm active. And then I try to use the resources available to me on a daily basis.
You got to keep pushing. It's scary, it's tough, it's a lot of work, but if you have the drive and the determination, you're gonna do it. You're gonna get there. Just keep working at it. You're gonna have setbacks at times. It's not if it's gonna happen, it's when it's gonna happen and how you deal with it.
Sometimes you think, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? But I think just, you know, not giving up and, you know, leaning on your support system. Some people feel like, oh, I need to do this on my own. You know, I need to, you know, be independent. You know, I can't rely on anybody. But, you know, nursing school causes enough anxiety as it is. So you need to turn to your support systems and sort of lean on them sometimes.
You know, the teasing and stuff, that all came with it. And, you know, oh, you're in a class of 65 girls and there's just you know. And that ain't, if you were a single guy, that ain't bad numbers, you know?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, with males into nursing, there is a stigma as far as becoming a nurse and, you know, working as a nurse and that kind of stuff. And to tell you the truth, I get more compliments being a male nurse than anything.
Once you set your goals and you really decide that's what you want to do, and in your heart that's what you want to do, you'll do it.
I feel like now that I have the confidence and I came out and I worked hard and I did everything I need to do, it's an open road out there. I can do anything now. Anything I put my mind to and some hard work, you can do it.
I've gone through a lot to get here, and it's what I want, and so I'm not going to stop until I get there.
if you want it and if you really want to do something like this, I have 110% confidence that you'll be able to succeed.